We fuck each other over all the time without even realizing it. We fuck every living thing on this planet over and think it'll be fine because we use paper straws and order the free-range chicken. And the sick thing is, I think deep down we know we're not fooling anyone. I think we know we're living a lie, an agreed upon mass delusion to help us ignore and keep ignoring how awful we really are.
I'm not down with most of the things that you do and say, but this is the part of the Venn diagram where we overlap. I agree with everything you just said. But as awful as people might be, nothing's gonna change the fact that we are all we've got.
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More importantly, you saw and heard the clip. Leave the World Behind review. Get that book on Amazon. So I saw the movie. Shout out to Solo TV 84. He was like, yo, you need to check it out. You've been talking about stuff like this for a minute. We've been talking about stuff like this, rather. And I'm looking at the movie and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna start and say some things from the end to the beginning, in a sense. First and foremost, at the end, one of the guys was like, all these countries could be teaming up to destroy us. Because one coast, one coast they were like Asian writing or Chinese writing that says "Death to America." They couldn't tell if it was Chinese or Korean. On the other side, there was it was like Arabic, like Saudi Arabia, Middle East, not necessarily Saudi Arabia, but the Middle East, right? Death to America. The white kid figured it out because he was playing video games. He's like, oh, I know what that means. It means death to America. So on one end, it's that, but then how is it's a Mahershala or Mr. Ali? I'm gonna just say that him as being one of the stars of the movie, he talked about how in defense contracting, one of the most effective way to take a country down was to cut off communication, then was a little bit of an attack in a sense, and then the people to turn on each other, and then you can have a coup d'état. And for a coup to happen, other countries can be interested in a coup to happen and help facilitate a coup to happen. But for a coup to happen, that would have to be actual people in that particular country. So when I saw it and I'm looking at it, I'm listening to the movie, I'm like, people are assuming that another country's bombing America, but truth is, it's America bombing America. You know what I'm saying? When, so for a coup, for a power move, that's the first thing that I thought about. The other thing that I thought about was, you know, people, you should be in the outskirts of the city and not in the city. You know what I'm saying? Because everything was getting destroyed in the city, to the point where they were at, a couple of planes crashed and a tanker went on the shore, and nobody could think the wise of like, what's good? Nobody really heard a thing. It wasn't a big deal. You didn't see people coming out attacking anybody because everybody was hunkered down. Now, but when you could see what's going on in the city, you saw mass destruction. The the other thing about like people, uh, what Julia Roberts was talking about, we screw each other over. The interesting thing about that is people enjoy screwing each other over if it grants them more money and a better lifestyle. So the guilt of screwing people over doesn't really happen until you're in poverty or close to poverty. You know what I'm saying? And even then, people are still upset because you have somebody to be jealous of. I forget which billionaire was talking about this older guy, and he says something to the effect of, you know, envy is what really runs this country. He said when I was a kid in the Great Depression, things were a whole lot worse. And I could still walk down the streets of Omaha. It wasn't Bill Gates, not Bill Gates, but Warren Buffett. It wasn't Warren Buffett, I don't think. But he says, now I live in Los Angeles, and I have way more than I had, and most people have 5 times what people had back in the day. But now it's just unsafe, and because people are always envious of looking at what other people have. So part of this movie showed the envy, like, I'm envious because you winning and I'm not. And how did you get here and how I'm not here? And the envy comes out in the movie. Whether it's her family to his family. Um, and the interesting thing about the Thorne family who wasn't there, which cracked me up, because the people who were the most prepared to hunker down probably got killed because they decided to be in the city, right? And you gotta, so that's a whole nother situation. Um, the other thing that I got from the movie, was kids and people who are suburban, or people who are entitled. And I can't say all white people because that's not true. People got so comfortable in America that they become useless. There's a point in the movie where Ethan Hawke got in the middle of Mr. Ali and Kevin Bacon, and Ali was trying to get some antibiotics or some medicine from Kevin Bacon because Ethan Hawke's son got sick, and it was a standoff with guns. And Ethan Hawke said something very important. He was like, "Listen, in this situation, I'm useless. I don't know what to do, but he told Kevin Bacon, he was pleading to him. He's like, listen, but you said it yourself, you'd do anything for my family. So all I'm asking for is help. So he basically traded him $1,000 for some pills for his son to um, get well and not die. The animal thing, I got it from the beginning. Like if you've been around animals, and I was telling my lady about it, I said, listen, she's like, what's up with these deer and stuff? And then you saw the flamingos and the other birds. And I said, birds sense tragedy faster than we do. You know, there was a movie years ago about, was it a tsunami that hit like an Asian island, and all the people, they saw the birds flying, inland and up towards a mountaintop, and the animals ran to the mountaintop, and everybody was just sitting there, and it didn't dawn on them, oh, something bad's about to happen. So if the animals are where you are, you're in a safe spot. That's the reality of it. Um, the other thing that got me, just pondering what was going on is, I don't think people realize it, but in essence, even like using Tesla in a what do you call that? A cyber attack to break everything down. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean to be cold about it, but this is why black people look at America, and white America specifically, like y'all crazy. Because why you looking at everybody, why you looking at us for every little thing? This is how 9/11 happened. This is how twice, not 9/11 happening twice, but the World Trade Center being attacked twice, because you're looking at the wrong people. This is how the crime keeps exploding, because you got groups that people don't look at that are not black, that are really behind all of the shenanigans. This is how all of these crises come about. Is because you're looking at the wrong people, because half of y'all don't want to say that you're in business with these people. But do these people have this country's best interest at heart? No. So when they say a cyber attack and somebody had to go to the power plants, this is how the white guys were in that federal building in the Northwest, and they were just there, and really nothing major happened. They got put in jail and they got released. It was stupid, but they had a standoff with the cops in Nevada, and it was okay. This is how these things keep happening, because you don't want to look at people who you should be looking at. This is how Snowden. Remember when Snowden, he went from basically being a janitor to having basically the keys to all the information. He copied it and took his behind all the way to Russia. And I'm sure they shared all that information with China and Russia, and he was an American citizen. But hey, he's the white guy. Who's going to do it? Like all the issues that this country is having is really an inside job because you don't want to watch who you should be watching. And thus the animosity that she was having towards Julia Roberts was having towards his family Mr. Ali's family, because it was well off, but not taking into consideration they taking care of us, really. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, and there's no nice way to say this, as she was saying, we screw each other over, it was the realization that, we're the problem. And it was always good until now. It was all good a week ago, but now it's not all good now. So the question is, do y'all know it's coming? Karma, just, is the fear of karma what's keeping white supremacy working hard? I'll say that. So tell me what y'all think, though. It's my thoughts about what I viewed. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace. You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna tell you that.